So we'll jump straight into it here on the short-term holder realized price for Bitcoin. And as we can see, we've ran up towards this level at around $80,000. Now, a lot of people are pointing towards this level to potentially show when Bitcoin's bear market will have ended and will re-enter bull market conditions. We can see historically, once this level has been flipped and we've convincingly retested it as support, then it has historically been a pretty good indicator of upcoming bullish price action. But in saying that, I'm personally wanting a little bit more confirmation beforehand. If we just quickly go over to TradingView here, what we can see, this red zone of resistance that we've had marked on the chart for multiple months now, we've finally been able to actually come up and test this. But immediately as we came up to this level, we have started retracing slightly. So even though we have broken above $80,000, I'm imagining a fair amount of sell pressure around this level. Although it is very promising to see Bitcoin really starting to show some strength. We can see April for Bitcoin had 11.81% returns. And after everyone was expecting downside price action in April and have been claiming to sell in May and go away, I think it's nice that we're actually seeing Bitcoin actually go a little bit against the trend. But what we can see, a lot of people, again, are anticipating Bitcoin to not have really bottomed until we reach a certain amount of time capitulation, which to some extent I do feel is true. I don't think that we can necessarily see V-shaped bottoms on every single downwards move before immediate bull market conditions. But if we do look at the BTC growth since cycle lows, we can see that while previous Bitcoin bear markets, or at least the previous two, lasted around a year, we have only been around 5 to 6 months in this current Bitcoin downwards price action move. So does this mean that we need to see this bear market last until October or Q4 of this year? Well, I don't necessarily think so. Even though we, like we said, have seen a considerably shorter duration bear market, we have been in this chopping and consolidating and pretty downwards price action range for many months now. And if we actually look at Bitcoin rather than just being priced in USD valuation, what we can see from this article I'd written for the Bitcoin Magazine Pro site subscribers and the physical print edition is that if we actually Bitcoin's relative purchasing power, for example, when measuring Bitcoin price versus gold, we actually peaked in late 2024. So if we're actually measuring Bitcoin's relative purchasing power, we've been well over a year into this bear market. But what we can also see is if we just go to the Bitcoin funding rates chart here, another fairly compelling reason to think that maybe the bears are getting a little bit ahead of themselves and maybe we can start being a little bit more bullish is even in spite of this positive price action, this almost decoupling price action nature that we've seen in the BTC strength compared to comparative commodities in gold and silver, people continue to short Bitcoin as if they're expecting, considerably lower lows, the most consistent and negative funding rates we've seen since the Bitcoin bear market lows back here in 2022. So I think when we piece all of this together, I think there's a fairly compelling argument that the bottom could be in for Bitcoin, especially when we look at some data points such as the 200 weekly moving average. I know Adam Back quite often posts our charts, which is nice to see. But historically, this has been a pretty good bottoming level for the Bitcoin bear market. We can see in the previous one, we did dip beneath it slightly, but we can see this has just surpassed $60,000. Now, considering the most recent low we set was around the $60,000 level, this kind of reaffirms that if we are to continue lower from where we are today, then maybe it'd be more like a double bottom in the Bitcoin price action as opposed to setting significantly lower lows. And again, once we combine that with the fact that we're seeing signs of diminishing on-chain profit taking from Bitcoin's largest and most long-term experienced holders when looking at the value days destroyed multiple, again, it just reaffirms that maybe we're not going to immediately enter bull market territory now, but I don't think it's wise to bet on further downside price action. We're seeing over 80% of the Bitcoin supply now being held by long-term holders, over 16 million Bitcoin, although I will say this very recent massive spike to the upside of hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin was almost certainly due to some Coinbase wallet infrastructure upgrades. But in spite of that, we can see if we just look to the ETF cumulative flows chart here, even if we look towards the big drawdown we've had, the peak we had in ETF cumulative flow holdings throughout these was 771,000. Now, it didn't even drop by 13% to its lowest level, even as the Bitcoin price dropped by around 50%. But now we've recovered massively. We're seeing huge demand from these institutional investors. And now we're over 95%, about 95.24% of the way back to the all-time high holdings we had in these ETFs. And that isn't even to mention all the Bitcoin that Strategy and other treasury companies are accumulating. But one thing I would also like to point towards is if we look at the amount of institutional accumulation that we're really seeing, this tweet by Charles Edwards of Craprioli, I think, is pretty relevant. Anytime we've seen over 500% of Bitcoin's daily mined supply being slurped up by institutions, price has immediately shot up almost every single time with an average return of over 24%, taking us to around $96,000 potentially in the month of May. Now, I said, even though I think that maybe we've seen some confirmation that the Bitcoin bear market bottom is in, but we may need some more confirmation. Where is that confirmation? Well, for me, it's the 1-year moving average. And where does that sit? $96,000, exactly where the average returns would see us pop up to if this positive price action can be sustained. And at that point, if we can flip this, getting towards six-figure territory once again, then I'd definitely be team bull once more. But even though I've been bullish throughout this most recent move from around $60,000, saying that I think now is a good area to really accumulate Bitcoin, now we're at resistance, now we're at $80,000. It wouldn't surprise me if we do see a little bit of a cool off. We do have significant resistance above us. If I just add on all of the other moving averages as well, we have the 200 daily moving average at 83,000. Of course, we have this big sell resistance cluster between 80 and 85,000. So really, even though things are looking bullish, I would personally wait for some more favorable risk to reward to begin accumulating once again, or for some more confirmed bullish price action to the upside before I could really convince myself that the bull market is back on. So just to summarize, Bitcoin is currently trying to break above the short-term holder realized price, a key resistance point which many point towards being the major level that once reclaimed would confirm a new BTC bull market. Now, while this level does definitely act like resistance during bear markets and support during bull markets, I do think we do need a little bit more confirmation before we break above this level and immediately start running to new all-time highs. It does certainly reaffirm that the low is likely in, especially when we look towards metrics like the 200 weekly moving average crossing above $60,000, which, like I said, will probably point towards more of something like a double bottom as opposed to more lower lows. But of course, you know, we're in a crazy time right now. We're one tweet away from certain people in the White House causing massive dumps and geopolitical uncertainty causing a lot of investors to still be on edge. But realistically, if we look at the supply and demand economics of Bitcoin right now, things are looking fairly favorable, at least in terms of a price capitulation. But as I said, some more chopping and consolidation around these levels would not be surprising in the slightest until we really get a convincing break above that 365-day moving average. I still think we need to be at least cautiously neutral. And of course, I hope I'm wrong. I hope from here we can continue to shoot to the upside. Maybe this cautious pessimism was maybe unwarranted, but right now I'd either wait for at least a slightly lower prices to begin scaling in, or again, some more confirmed bullish price action. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry there was no face cam today. I'm slightly under the weather, and I'm not going to say it was Las Vegas conference related, but it might be Las Vegas conference related. But as always, thank you all very much for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments and on social media. I look forward to reading and replying to them. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.